business, but I do know that's been brought up to me before. I've met with the leadership of your community several times. They come up to the office. They've been very good about helping us with information and asking questions about the case, how it's going, and I appreciate their help as well. Before we start, I want to tell you, I will take questions, okay? However, there are some things that I will not discuss on the investigation just for the integrity of the investigation. Okay, there's some things that only the suspect knows. Okay, so there are some things that if I say pass over that one, it's not that I'm trying to hide something. It's just that for the integrity of this investigation, I don't want to discuss that part of it. The other thing is too is if anybody has any information, crimestoppers.org, or you can call them Crime Stoppers at 713-222-PIPS. But they also have a website. You just go right on there. You don't have to talk to anybody on the phone or anything else. Okay? My name is Tyler. I've been in homicide for about 20 years. Actually, March is 20 years I've been in homicide division. We do work a lot of cases. That does not mean by any means that this case is not important. It means that we have to juggle a lot of different cases. And I know it's not just this case. A lot of cases, community members, they get very frustrated because they feel like it's dragging on. Why haven't they made an arrest yet? And a lot of times there's several reasons for that. Sometimes it can be, in this case, we don't have the probable cause right now to make an arrest. Okay, we can't just go pick someone up. I know a lot of people have sent us information regarding people involved with this. Okay, we do know, and I have talked to that person. All right, the witnesses on the other, and that's another thing I wanted to say also. Please, I'm getting a lot of this information. Witnesses are being harassed about not cooperating with us and things like that. I think sometimes we need to put ourselves in their shoes. They're scared. Okay, I don't think any of them are intentionally not cooperating with us, not talking to us because they don't want to help. I think, and majority of them we have talked to. There are a few that we're still trying to talk to, and a lot of you probably know who they are. They're just scared. Okay, they have to be out here. They have to be in the community. These are popular clubs, and some of these witnesses, they know people when they come out here. They're worried about getting hurt. They're worried about their families. They're worried about their kids. So I just kind of want to tone down the rhetoric on the witnesses a little bit, if we could. I need their cooperation. We need their cooperation. Andrew needs their cooperation. So I would ask that, if you know anything about that, just ask people to lay off the witnesses right now. We're trying to give them space and become comfortable. We're still trying to talk to them. Let them know that, we need their help. And I think we get a lot farther by being nice to them, trying to work with them on their concerns than we do being forceful, being threatening, things like that. Let me start with some of these questions. Question number one is, do we have any suspects as of today, and how much support have your department been receiving from the witness and family? Yes, we do have suspects in mind, okay? But back to what I said before, we do not have probable cause to make an arrest yet, all right? And I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, but I can't just go out and arrest someone because a couple of people have said that person is the one who shot Drew. I just can't do that. I can't go into their house, apartments, or whatever, and search for weapons or whatever else without a warrant or their consent also. So I know that's another issue that's been very frustrating for the community is, well, if the police know who they think did this, why haven't they arrested them? It's a little more complicated than just going out there and arresting someone because, their names have been brought up into the investigation.
What do you consider as probable cause?
Well, probable cause would be more along the lines of something where, for example, they show photographs. And we've had a couple of people, witnesses, who said, might be. That's not probable cause. Okay, that's just a tentative ID. In other words, if I'm a suspect in a murder case, you go out and show my photo to someone and they say, without a doubt, that's him. I'm 100% certain. That's more along the lines of a probable cause. Then I can go to a judge and say, look, sir, we've got a witness here who says, I am certain, I am 100% certain that this is the person who I saw do this. Okay? We don't have that yet. And I say yet because I feel like we probably will get there. There's a lot of different angles we're looking at. We don't want to have blinders on. We want to keep our minds open about why this happened, along with who did it as well. So the answer to number one is yes, we do have some suspects. However, again, we don't want to just put blinders on and look at just one person or two people. And that's why we ask if y'all have information. Call Crime Stoppers. There's also a reward for it. Or you can go online if you don't want to talk to them on the phone. Surveillance, question number 2, are there any surveillance videos or audios that were obtained from the crime scene? I'm not going to go into detail about a lot of what we have and don't have, but I will say, obviously, y'all see all the cameras, so yes, we do have some video surveillance, is the answer to number 2. Audio, we do not. Okay, question number 3 was the bullet or bullet shell case recovered by medical examiner. That's a question I'm not going to cover yet, just for the integrity of the investigation. Has the owner of the murder weapon been identified? It's question number 4. No, has not. So if anybody knows who that person is, again, Crime Stoppers, and you go crimestoppers.org or you can just call it. What type of weapon was used is question number 5. Again, that's another detail that we're not going to get into as far as the investigation goes. 6, what can the community do to speed up the pace of the investigation? This right here is very big, okay? I will say in the 20 years I've been working murders alone, very seldom does community come out like this. So I think it's really good to see. It's nice to see. We do quite often have immediate family that wants to meet and stuff, but it's very rare that you have a community like this that comes out. So I just want to applaud you guys and ladies for that. To answer the question, there's nothing that you can really do to speed up the process unless you have information on the case. If you have that, if you have information on the case, please send that to us, and that will help speed up the case if we have more information about this. Okay, how do you pronounce this?
Oh, this was written in Swahili.
I'm a little rusty on this.
Okay.
That was a trick question, wasn't
That
it?
was a trick question, right? Okay. So the process says that anyone has been arrested for the questioning regarding this case.
Not arrested. We did talk to one of the parties that was there. I'll leave it at that, okay?
Just
man-
one? You said one?
Well, we have witnesses, and then we have one person we actually talked to that we felt like was involved initially, okay? And that's different from being responsible for the shooting, okay? So yes, to answer your question, is we have talked to one person. On that.
One person.
Yes, but now witness-wise, we talked to many. And we still have a couple more, I told you all ago, that we're still trying to get to some more.
No, let me emphasize this question. I mean, anyone was arrested for interrogation, questioning about this.
No one has been arrested. No one has actually been arrested and charged.
What about,
in this.
I want to ask you, any case, homicide cases, there's a personal interest of case. This is almost like 3 weeks now. There's no personal interest. Never happened in the United States justice system. So what you want us to do is to get a real personal interest. If you give us personal interest, we'll care because we know somebody's personal interest. This is a homicide case, there's no personal interest for 3 weeks. It never happened this. Why?
It's a lot different than what you see on TV sometimes.
Discretion of you.
What What do you mean?
It's your discretion. You deal with the case.
Yes.
And the case is before you. So when you go before the court, you are the one you want to put all the evidence and everything. This is a person of interest.
That's right.
We don't care who you know, you don't know, but we want to know what the person of interest. You cannot have a case for 3 weeks, no person of interest.
Special interest? What do you mean?
Person of
Person
interest.
of interest.
Person of interest.
Person of interest.
Person of interest.
Yeah.
Person of interest.
Okay. I have to be very careful with the words
I
that
know,
use on this,
because
okay?
based on discretion in justice system of work, you can decide what you do, but we are under you guys. We don't have supporting from our government and stuff like that. But if we push him out, this means we can go through our government. Our government goes through our State Department. They can push you guys to give us what we want. We're not supposed to be here. You guys, you're supposed to deal with this. We're supposed to get information from somewhere else. But because you are the one you deal with these cases, now you come to your office. You are the one you deal with this file. You have Andrew file.
Yes.
Yeah, if you have Andrew file, I know you got more than maybe 20 files. But on this one now, we can be able to get, okay, who's the person of interest in this case? Because no matter what you get different words, different names. But I know in your head, you captain, we don't want to know the guy.
Well, and I
But
can't give you the name.
we don't want to know the
but
name.
what I
If
can
you
tell
got it or
is
you know.
this, we do, from what I understanding, I can answer your question is yes. We have,
That's it. That's it. That's
Some names.
don't go far. That's
okay,
it. That's it.
but we don't have enough to arrest
That's it.
anybody
That's what I
yet.
want.
Okay.
So basically, what he's saying, we have this, but we have permission.
That's right. That's right. And I have to be, I don't want to go into a lot of detail.
We're gonna get
with
it very
that.
soon.
I don't want to go into detail with it. I know that y'all are frustrated because it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I can't give you the answer when it will happen.
No, see,
But what I can tell you is this,
We good.
is that we are working on it. We do have other cases, yes, but we are working on Drew's case. I can assure you that we are. It's a juggling act, just like everybody at work. You have multi things that you have to do at work. And so you might, I don't know, whatever it is you do, you might work a little bit on this part of it, then you go over here, this part. And with us, it's, for example, I met with leadership on Friday morning.
Excuse me, for your experience
Yes,
in this case, how long it will take? A month, a year?
That's a question. We have questions. Excuse me, guys. Hold on. We have questions. Here. So let's go through this way, the way we channel. Then once we finish this question, you're gonna be open after this. Okay?
Yeah, and I'll take any other questions after
He's
this
willing
as
to
well.
stay over.
I want to answer everybody's questions on this, so I haven't forgot about you.
Okay, as a matter of fact, this is the next question. This question is here. Do you have a time frame to complete your investigation? Because the community
Before you go
hungry.
cold case, that's what
Yes, I
How
understand,
long
and
is
I
it
think
gonna
it may go back to what this man was saying.
Yeah.
We don't have a particular time frame. We can't say, and in really most investigations you can't. You have no way of knowing.
But there's a limitation of time.
Statute of limitations?
Yeah.
There
Statute
are
allow us to.
There are no statute of limitations.
There is. Let's go start the book. Let's go on the book. Find the statute of Houston. What's the define of this? Statute of Houston define you have a limitation of time to give us information.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is there is no statute of limitations for murder.
It is.
No, there's not.
In a civil case, yes. In a criminal case, yes.
In a criminal, okay.
Naomba utulivu, wacha ulize swali lake.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on, everybody listen please, that way everybody can hear everybody's questions.
In a civil case, I agree with you. In a criminal case, it's not civil case. I want to know based on a criminal case. It's not civil case. I'm not a civil case.
Well, we don't
I'm
work
here
civil
about the case.
cases.
I know, that's why I'm asking that.
And there is, I'm just telling you, there are no statute of limitations for murder. Now there are but not for
We
murder.
can go to the book on the statute of Houston. I'll read that.
All right, well, I'm just telling you. I promise you, there are no statute of limitations for murder. Not in the statute of
Jamaa tumoja tupeleke taratibu. Mayoche.
I'll still answer.
Control situation.
Okay. Hold on. Let's try to get down a little bit so we can hear the questions. Okay, what number are we on here?
So now we are on number 9.
9. Do you have names of suspects? Yes. Okay, I think we've kind of covered that. We do have some persons of interest.
Yeah.
Again, that does not mean they're guilty, okay? Okay. All right. Number 10, how confidential are identities of witnesses and information they provide? Can you guarantee their privacy? We touch on this every case because going back to what I said earlier, people are scared. People, we're out here in the streets. We're, in the clubs at night. They don't want to get hurt. They don't want anything to happen to their family. They don't want anything to happen to their kids. And so they worry. And that's why a lot of people don't want to get involved with it. When it comes time for trial, is the big issue. If you're an eyewitness, in other words, if you and I are talking, and you tell me, I saw that murder, you are an eyewitness to this. You are probably going to be asked to testify in trial. That means you will not be, your name will be brought out. Up until that point, no one will know except for who you tell. We don't go out and say, hey, Joe told us this, and then start telling everybody, Joe's telling us this and this. And I think we tell all the witnesses that. We don't tell other witnesses what some witnesses told us for a couple reasons. We don't do that. We may go out and say, ma'am, I have information that you might have saw what happened. I don't go out and say, ma'am, Joe told me that you were there and you saw what happened. So I don't give out names like that. When it comes to trial, I have no choice. That's up to the district attorney's office. They make those decisions. And frankly, to be fair to the defendants, if you're being accused of something, you want to know who your accuser is.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let's just hold on.
Up to the point where you talk about this means you explain all the stuff like that. But
Hajaelewa bwana. Nasafiri kutoka mbali ndugu yangu.
assign
Mheshimiwa ndio. Na swali lake na uliza kwa swali.
in the case of
Travel from a long way.
yeah.
No. Oh, you're talking about a district attorney? I don't know. Once the charge is filed,
All I know about this case is going on here. I'm telling you the truth. You know that.
okay, hold on. Let's keep in mind our goal here is to help everybody else. So let's listen so we can hear the questions. No, I am not going to give part of the district attorney's office. Once charges are filed, it will be assigned to a court. Once it's assigned to a court, whatever the DA and the prosecutor assigns to the court is, that's what will be assigned to the prosecutor. Okay?
Yeah, let's go to number 11.
Question number 11 is, how did the suspects plead they drove away?
I mean, himself or with somebody else?
I can't get into that. Okay?
We're going to get him in the meeting.
I'm sorry? Yes.
We already answered. Yeah, that's good. We got it.
Okay, number 12. According to ongoing investigation, does the killing appear to be all right. Okay, did everybody hear the question? Okay. The question is asking, according to investigation, does the killing appear to be coincidental or premeditated? And I think that there's some concern in the community that, well, I don't know what everybody's opinion is. There has been some concern relayed to me by the leadership that it might have been premeditated. I don't know, is the answer. It's been brought to my attention. We are, we're taking all that into account. But a lot of this goes back to all of you guys, your ladies. We need y'all's help. So if you know something that you feel like the police need to know, and maybe we already know it, I don't know. Send it in to Crime Stoppers, call Crime Stoppers, whatever it is. Just give us the information. You can remain, now Crime Stoppers, I will say this, you do remain anonymous, okay? through Crime Stoppers, you absolutely, they issue you a number. They don't ask you for your name, and specifically on their website, they tell you do not put your name in there. Okay, that way, I don't even know who you are. They don't even know who you are. There is no phone tracing, there's none of that. I've heard that before. I don't work there, but to my knowledge, there's nothing. In 20 years, we've been dealing with them. I've never been given a name or a phone number. Now, sometimes someone might call Crime Stoppers, give the information, and if they feel like maybe it didn't get to us, then they call us later and say, hey, I sent something to Crime Stoppers, but I want you to know, I don't know if you got it, this is the information. But if you just go through Crime Stoppers, it is completely anonymous, and you can receive money for it.
I'm gonna receive money while they're anonymous.
I understand it's not about the money, not for most people, but I mean, who couldn't use the money?
Exactly.
You know, you're going to help anyway, right? You're going to do it for the right reason. You might as well get some money out of it too. All right, number 13. Any indication suspects or any persons of interest knew the victim?
Yeah.
I think Drew, from my understanding, had been up here before. I think he knew. Matter of fact, I know because I showed up at the hospital, and you know there were a bunch of friends there that day. I think more than I've seen in any of my cases before. And immediately they were saying, you know, this is a person you might be able to talk to. This is a person you might be able to talk to as far as information goes. So, and by the showing here, I can tell you that Drew had a lot of people that really liked him, a lot of friends and family. So there's a possibility that they knew each other. I don't know that yet. Certainly that they might have run across each other in this club, maybe some other ones, I don't know. So I guess the answer to that is there is a possibility. Okay. 14. 14 asks for a description of the suspects and any sketches available. Yes, there is a sketch. Let's see, wait a minute, I'm sorry. I don't think there was on this one. We do have a description. There was a little confusion at the time, as you can imagine. Hopefully most of you have not been involved in a shooting, but if you have, then you know the confusion, you know the chaos that happens immediately after that. So because they are witnesses does not always mean that we get a good suspect description on that. I don't think we have any sketches though. Do we know the motive of the crime? No, we don't. I know there's a lot of no's and we don't know what's coming from my mouth, and I'm sorry for that.
I'm sorry. Is it black, white, Mexican?
Black.
Black.
Yes. Yes. But we also have some witnesses who say we also have some witnesses say they heard the gunshots but didn't see anything.
What about the video?
So
What about the video surveillance?
the video,
Yeah.
we do have video.
So can you see the shooter?
Hey, subiri, listen, let me-
Yeah, I want to be real careful about going into a lot of the details to it.
Thank you,
on
sir.
that, okay? And I'm sorry. I know that sounds like maybe we're trying to hide something or not tell you something.
We are so frustrated.
And look, I understand.
We are very frustrated.
Yes, and I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir.
What I can tell you is this: we are working this case. Okay, I know it's been 3 weeks now. I know it may be another 3 weeks. I don't know what the time frame will be because it depends on information we receive. It depends on us getting witnesses to talk to us and things like that.
Do you have a direct number? Maybe we can.
I'm asking everybody, if you have information, to go through Crime Stoppers. I've asked the family, because we started getting a lot of phone calls and stuff, I believe Eddie is still point of contact for her family, or for all this.
Yeah,
or-
I'm sorry,
Yes,
what's
yes,
the name of
I'll let you handle that. Well, go through the leadership on it. If you have information, go through Crime Stoppers on that, because that way it's all documented. Not your name, but all the information is documented. And if you go online, then you put everything in there. It's got, if you ever looked at it, it's got several different categories to fill out, depending on what all information that you have. And even if you don't have information, but you think you heard, whatever, maybe if it's not hard information, but it's something that you've been thinking about, you can still send that in, and they will still forward that to us. Okay?
Did you see the video?
This next question.
Hold on a second. Yes.
Number 16.
Did you receive any video clip as part of evidence so far? Yes, I did. I think paramedics were actually working on Drew. Someone sent me, I believe it was like a 5-second, maybe 10-second clip. And basically it shows the HFD was out here working on Drew. So I'm not sure if that's...
A paramedic sent it to you?
Yes. Well, no, it was not paramedics. All right. Oh, I thought you didn't see this. Yes, and I think we talked about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah. I mean, did you see any of them?
We do have video surveillance,
And you saw. That's good.
and I've reviewed it.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, too.
Are we curious? Question number 16. Did you receive any
I won't forget about you.
We still question number 16.
16.
Question is clear.
Okay, the answer number 16 is yes. Question
Okay, let me
is,
repeat. Number 16. Did you receive any video clip as part of the evidence so far?
and the answer is yes. Okay.
Let's go to question number 16.
When did you change to homicide detective? Does that mean when did I become a homicide? That was in 1996.
Yes.
Yes, but I can tell you this: we came out because of the severity of the gunshot wounds to begin with. Because there are always possibilities, and unfortunately in this case, they don't survive. So then they usually send us out on cases like that. Not always, but this one was obviously a very bad one, and so we were brought out from the very beginning on this one.
That's to
All right.
say, oh, there's a last question I think I received here. This question is number 18. It says, did the leading detective get the series of events prior to the Andrew Sanga death?
Well, the answer, okay, did everybody hear that? That might be very important for everybody to hear. Can you read it again?
Did the leading detective get the series of events prior to the Andrew Sanga events? Like what happened?
Leading to the shooting.
Yes. And the answer to that is we have received some information, but there's a lot of people here. So there's a lot of people that may have more information that we don't have. I don't know. But I do know that we have received some information about what might have happened prior to the shooting. Okay? However, just because of that does not mean if you have information, it may be the same information, but let's talk and let's see. So if you have information on it, please get that to us because it may or may not be something that we already know.
But can you share with us, what you got from the witnesses? You don't have to mention the name.
Just go briefly.
Yeah. I have to tread lightly on this. Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to hide anything. This seriously is for the integrity of the investigation, okay? Because one thing we don't want, it happens a lot, and people want to help. People just want to help. So a lot of times if they hear something, they'll forward that to us. But in other words, I may tell you something out here today, and you might go home, or you may be discussing this with your spouse, your partner, your friend, and then they tell someone else, and then that person calls and says, hey, we have some new information, and they might tweak that just very slightly. Well, then we get that information in, and we're like, oh, this is a different lead. So then we go down that path. And then when we get to the end of that, and we spend a week on that, and we realize, wait a minute, this is the same thing that we already had, and we talked about. This is something that's being repeated, and it's been changed just a little bit to where we feel like it might have been different. So basically what we know is that Andrew was in the club that night, had came out to get something to eat there was a food trailer parked over here. After that, there was a little bit of an argument and then the shooting. That's pretty brief. I understand that's probably not what all you want to hear. I just wanted to, but that's, without going into a lot of details again for the integrity of it, that's kind of what we do know. But we do know some other things as well.
Okay.
And I apologize. I know you had a question. I forgot what it was. And then
Before I answer my question, I want to put it this way. People they came from different states because we want to spread justice, but we don't know if the process will go slow or it needs some cost effective. And if I have anything to tell to the minister, when we need the website, we send them the message. That will give us clue that this case is at this time where we start to maybe because our government is waiting, family is waiting, friends is waiting, and we are really here to want to see something is coming up. If there is cost effective, if it's not cost effective, we need some financial support from our government or ourselves. We are ready to write something.
it is not the money, okay? It's not, the money is not the issue on this. The issue is we have certain things that we have to do in order to prove that someone did this. I can't just say someone saw you do a shooting and then arrest you for it. I know they do that on TV. And TV is, I will say this, 48 hours is about as close as I've seen to the real thing. The rest of that, we don't have any magic machines that pull DNA out of the air, give us a name and an address and a phone number and GPS. We're that right now. It just doesn't happen like that. It's great for entertainment, but in real life it doesn't happen. Money is not the issue right now. The issue is we really would like to have witnesses who can identify this person that goes back to the person of interest, who can tell us, I am certain that is the person that I saw shoot Drew, or shoot the man if they don't know. Either way, that's what we need on that. Or any other information that we may not have right now that is very important towards the case. I mean, I don't know what that might be. So money is not the issue. The timeline, I know we do this a lot. I understand it. It's frustrating. I know people want answers. They want someone held responsible, and they want it done quickly. We do as well, because this is the issue. This is my personal thought anyway. If whoever did this to Drew is still out there, they could do it to someone else.
Yes.
They obviously have no problem pulling a trigger on another human being. So that's my issue on timeline, is I don't want someone else's family going through the same thing.
And to add to our question, please. So I just want to add to what she asked. As a community, we are considering, hiring a private investigator or a lawyer because I'm pretty sure this might not be the only case that you're dealing with. And from your experience, would that be a smart move to do, to hire a private investigator to speed up the process?
Well, I can't really answer that. What I can say is this, they don't have the authority to go out and file charges on someone. They're limited. I'm not telling you not to, okay? I'm saying it's got to be a community decision, personal decision that you guys need to talk about.
We want to.
We're trying to get your
Well, this is
a professional view.
What I can tell you is this: the one good thing about that is, first of all, if they are a good private investigator, whatever, they can dedicate their entire day and weeks to that one case. That is the one thing they have advantage over us. I'm not saying they're smart too. Okay, I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying they don't have the authority to go out and file the charges. And frankly, if they go to someone and say, hey, I know you were a witness on this or something like that, they're very limited in what they can and can't do. On some of that, they can't. But the big advantage is we juggle a lot of cases. I already told you about Friday. Well, that's a daily occurrence. Matter of fact, Monday I'll be on the north side in the morning, and then Monday afternoon I'm on the southwest on a different case. And neither one of those are this case, I will tell you that. So we just have to juggle these cases because as frustrated as you guys are, and it's understandable, there's other cases where those people are wanting answers and they deserve them just like you guys do. So we try to juggle this. And then of course we have personal, I have kids. I'm constantly going to the doctor, I'm going to the dentist, or I'm going to the school to find out why my kid doesn't go to the office. Absolutely. And I'm not just saying this. I'm telling you that.
The whole community.
Officer. Zima.
The whole community is frustrated.
I would, yes. And the answer is, if you guys decide y'all want to do that, I will work with them. Now again, like the community, I'm not going to share intimate details about the investigation with you. Okay? But if they want to go out and talk to someone or try to, I'm not sure. Just if y'all decide to do that, just have them call me and we'll talk it through. And I'll absolutely work with them because my bottom line is I want to find out who killed Drew. And I've talked to, it's in the news all the time about people being here illegally. I do not care, okay? I'm not going to ask you. I'm not going to ask witnesses. I don't care about that. What I care about is who shot Drew.
Yes.
That's the only thing is. So pass that word out there because that may be enough. We were going back talking about why some witnesses are reluctant to work with us. We don't care about that.
Okay, so
We don't work immigration.
maybe to summarize this. After, yeah, I know.
You're not going to summarize.
Subiri. Being the president. What summarize this? After this meeting, do not go home. We still have to discuss about this. We have to, okay? Okay. Go ahead. Good question.
I wanted to know where exactly
Location, physical location.
Well, I can't give you an exact spot, but I can tell you that it happened somewhere, a little ways out because there were cars parked up here. So it was a little bit out in the parking lot, somewhere between here and maybe down towards that truck. We do. Now, let me just also tell you this. Cameras don't always work. There are a lot of cameras here. No, I'm not even say that. I'm just saying sometimes.
for instance, actually hiding information from me, can you be used against them? No, you can't.
You have no obligation here by law. We ask. Now we can issue grand jury subpoenas, things like that. But then it's almost like